Hey, Rill, thanks for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm great in yourself.
Oh, I'm doing good. So I know you have a great story to share with us, and I'm kind of
Oh,
excited to hear all the things. But tell us a little bit about yourself first.
okay, it's like okay, wait, where we going about myself? As related to what I do, or you just want me to just give you a broad?
Yeah, just give me a broad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if y'all know about, everybody know about Flint. That's where the water was poisoned. However, Flint isn't the first place where the water was poisoned. Even before that happened, my son and I, we had watched a documentary where it happened. I don't know where it was, but it was in a raw area
Mm-hmm.
where these people, I don't know, they came in, what they did the same thing when Flint came with the pipes, switched the pipes. Fire was literally coming out of their faucets. They was killing their cattle, killing their crops. Like people were dying. Like it was horrible. So the government, they when they want to do things or whatever they want to build underneath,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
happens. It's horrible. So anyway, so that's where I'm from. I'm from Flint. Flint is a really it's not super tiny. It's not a one light town. So let's not think like that, right?
Okay. I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Right, right. Have you ever been to Flint?
No,
To
I have not
Michigan?
been to Flint. No, I've not been to Michigan, but I've only heard good things about it. Obviously, less the bad water issues that I hear, but like some of the sports and some of the activities and some of the places and events and festivals that they have are very nice. Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I've never been there personally, so you can be firsthand experience. When were you born? Uh, just to
Uh,
give a perspective.
69.
69? Okay.
Yes.
And you were born and raised in Flint, Michigan, or were you in the suburbs, or what part of Michigan?
No, I was in the city part.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
In
want
the
to assume
urban
anything.
area.
So,
No, no, it's okay.
yeah.
But okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. What were we gonna say?
Oh, so but yeah, so Flint is it's also to me for what I do as a creator, like it was super boring growing up there. I
Hmm.
remember going back over my documentary and I was just like, I did nothing today. Like it's like a real it's like if you wanna I said like people from New York, I've had
Hmm.
like a place like who grew up here or in the fast city, like LA, Chicago or something, they would probably like the slowness of and the relaxation, I would say,
Hmm.
of Flint. Um, so it was really boring to me because I was a very outgoing person in my mind, but although
Hmm.
it didn't, the city that I lived in didn't have that, so I was bored like a lot. Now,
Okay.
I'm also not only, well, I do a lot of things, but I'm definitely, my first loves are dancing and fashion.
Hmm.
So with the dancing part, like I used to win a lot of dancing contests in the area, but as far as fashion, not so much. I was always get teased as a kid because I dressed the way I like to dress. And I was then once I discovered the thrift stop, the thrift shops, oh my God, my just world just went, ah, oh my God, I can be wherever I want to be. I can dress however I want to dress. I love all these. And then I didn't know about vintage. I learned about, like, it was just so mind blowing. So,
So how old were you at that point when you were winning dance competitions
mm,
and you found the thrift shops and
okay, well, dance competition probably like elementary, middle school
hmm. Hmm.
to high school.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
But when I found the thrift store, was I still in high school or just now? Wait, I think I was still in high school. It's because I was driving and I
Hmm.
had got a ticket, so they made me do community service. And with my community service, and it was at a thrift store, and that my light just went like, oh, it was perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I discovered the thrift stop at the thrift stores, and just my love for fashion, like it just exploded because I was
Gotcha.
there. Like, oh my God, I see this and this. And this. So yeah, and so Flint to me was very boring as a creative child because there was no outlet for me.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
however, I was very out the box thinker. I
Hmm.
started my own shop. I was selling my clothes on my mother's lawn. So I was doing, what do they call those things? What do they call them?
Entrepreneurs, maybe start small
No, no, no,
business.
no, no, no. I mean with that, but no, when people sell their stuff on the lawn in what do they call those things? God, my mind is
Garage
lost.
sales?
Say it again.
Garage sale, maybe?
I don't think that's okay, but yeah, like a garage sale. So I was doing mines at a very young
Mm-hmm.
age. So what I was doing, I would take like a garment
Mm-hmm.
and I would make it extraordinary, like totally transform it. So I was doing that at a very young. So yes, I was an entrepreneur, but I don't do we call it garage sales? Maybe that is the term.
Yard sale,
I
maybe?
was yeah, yeah.
There's
So
just yeah, there's so many little titles that different areas call stuff. So
right.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was doing that and and I was just so not the norm. Like I'm not trendy. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I do, especially in Flint where people are well in a lot of places, people everywhere people are like very trendy. They go with what the masses is doing. And
Mm-hmm.
actually even
Mm-hmm.
when I moved to New York, I thought that I could come here and just express myself. And they was just like in Harlem, like, girl, I would hear them snickering. And she was like, I thought this was the place. It's really not. It is, but it's not. Because I mean, although like New York definitely get things like before everybody, and they are ahead of the curve as far as the states are concerned, but
Mm-hmm.
they are very trendy. But there are some very stylish people here, but still very trendy.
So when did you
So
move from Michigan to New York?
okay, so before I got there, I went to when I left high school,
Mm-hmm.
I went to Alabama State. I went to a HBCU, which one of my fabulous times in life. I went to Alabama State,
Mm-hmm.
and but for me, I was just partying. Hey, like I just like school. My thought was, and I don't even know why that was my thought, but my thought was because I'm very passionate about this too, and that's
Mm-hmm.
teeth. So I was like, I want to be a dental hygienist. You know what I'm saying? So I did go there for that. I swear, I don't even remember going to class. I swear, like it was just, it was horrible. Like but it was my experience. I think I remember going like 2 or 3 classes. I swear, I don't really remember going to class. Or I just don't, because I was just partying. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was away from home. I was in a whole nother state. Although I was very scared about Alabama, where all the racism that taking place in there and all the southern states.
Mm-hmm.
So and what was also
Was it
tricky.
very apparent at that time to you? Like when were you in college? In the 70s, 80s?
No, in the 80s.
Okay, was it very like out front and clear as day? Because I know everyone talks about racism, and I was just kind of curious
Mm.
about how it was in the 80s in Alabama.
Okay, so well, I was on the campus, so
Okay.
so we are safeguarded in
Mm-hmm.
that way. But I did experience, I remember we went to a beach and like down south, you can still go to the beach at night.
Yeah.
So it was a gang of girls and one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a gang, I don't know, males and females, we just did not turn around. We sitting on the sand,
Mm-hmm.
just chopping it up, having great conversation. They come from behind us, calling us niggers, they pussy stink and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I did have a compact a comeback for them. But like you're very concerned. It seems like you're insecure. Clearly you want this pussy, but you would never. You know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bitch?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we was just like, yo, just be quiet. The guy was like, yo, y'all have to be quiet. Just don't say nothing. We have to stay steadfast in that moment
Mm-hmm.
because we could have got murdered or we would have, because I know I would have took at least 2 out just on the strength of my ancestors. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this is not gonna be an easy task for a coward. Because you
Mm-hmm.
got a gang of motherfuckers and it's a whole bunch of girls and one dude. Like, you a bitch. Because you
Mm-hmm.
moving a very bitch like. You
Gotcha.
understand what
So
I'm
this was a
saying?
group of guys that appeared out of nowhere. It wasn't like
Yeah, but that was behind us. They was on the boardwalk while we were on the sand, and they just appeared. So
were they your
yeah,
age? Were they older? Were
I don't
they
know. We didn't turn around.
okay?
I didn't
Gotcha.
give them. We didn't give them no eye contact. But I do because I remember it was a lot of voices, and I did do like a peek. Just a
Mm-hmm.
peek to see what was just in case if something go up. Because where was there to run? There was you have to. Ain't no flight. You don't have to
Now you can run
fight.
to the ocean. I mean, that's about it. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like and who's doing that at night?
yeah,
So the
yeah.
current
No.
can take you like.
It's
You
crazy.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But yeah, so that was one of my experiences. That was so funny. I just had one of my friends come who I went to college with, and her daughter is a model, and she came here during New York Fashion Week. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was 2 years ago, and we was reminiscing, and she was one of the people that was there, and it's funny that what people remember and don't remember, and she was like, "No, I don't remember that." But then,
Hmm.
mind you, but she is a native Alabamian,
Hmm. So
so I don't
she
know.
just
I
might
don't
be
know
used
what
to it
her
or something, or like,
I don't know, but actually she's from like a really small town. So where
okay.
her town is it's like a lot of family members and everybody, and it's like a one
Hmm.
light town. I
Yeah,
never
yeah.
went to where she's from, but so I don't know what was so maybe it could have been or whatnot. I don't know. But
Gotcha.
yeah. So
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 did you experience any racism while you were in Michigan, or was Michigan like more of a chill place? I'm just kind of curious the vibe
oh no,
difference.
no, ain't no difference. The racist is everywhere.
Okay.
So I did this as a kid too. And this was another punk ass, bitch ass, coward ass, pussy ass, no good ass, low life
Hmm. Hmm.
who will fucking attack children. I was in high school at the time, or maybe even middle school. Me and a girlfriend, we at the mall. So this is what you do. Like when we was teenagers, we go to the mall because there's, like I said, there's literally nothing to do, and the mall is kind of small. So we go to the mall, and now I can see people when they be doing fuck shit, and this bitch was on some fuck shit. This Caucasian Karen
Hmm.
was on
Hmm.
some fuck shit. So my friend was just standing there. Or maybe okay. So now wait. No, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
As a
yeah, yeah.
Caucasian person, because I find that a lot of Caucasians like their manners, especially well, maybe they don't feel like they need to have manners towards black people. It's
Okay.
kind of out the window. So is that a thing? Like they don't like to say excuse me,
Uh,
thank you.
Honestly, like I'm Italian, and like being a New York Italian, we were kind of a couple steps below the Anglo-Saxons. So it's kind of interesting. Like my dad was not allowed to join a scout group or a couple youth programs because we were Italian and we were seen as a
Okay.
lesser
Hmm.
population of people.
Okay.
So I always found kinship in the minority groups because I always felt like a
Okay.
minority, even though like I technically am Caucasian or
Right.
like or white, depending upon the Census Bureau. But I always looked at myself as being Italian. I never, and Italians kind of are people that were lovers of everyone from the Mediterranean. So like, there's no doubt in my ancestry somewhere along the line, I had Northern Africans in my bloodline. I 100% certain of it, just because I have a lot of short, dark skinned, dark eyed family members. I'm kind of the tall one in my family. So, with that being said, like your question in reference to like how people perceive things, I was always kind of an outsider looking in. So my friends were growing up were Puerto Ricans and Jewish folks. So
Okay.
I didn't really have that white Anglo-Saxon upbringing in New Jersey. I know they were there. Um, but I can't really speak to it. Like I guess it's just I was a an anomaly in a lot of ways. I now live in Florida, and I know in Florida there is um s- a different mindset here. Uh, Unfortunately, like or fortunately, depending upon how you look at it, I just never really engaged in the racist tone and actions of people. I just sort of like,
Mhm.
hey, that's not me, because I'm getting bullied just the same as my friend that is African American right over here because my hair is greasy. Like it's like I no matter what I do, it's either puffy or I got to put some stuff into it. And I mean, I have just a little bit of product in here, and it looks like it's like slicked back, and
Mhm.
so I just always looked at it as being like, hey, we have a kinship, and uh, I just accept everyone for who they are. I don't know, maybe I'm a next generation thinker, but I always find racism to be interesting because like being on the opposite end of things, I just look at it as being like I was always cool with everyone from all the
Mhm.
backgrounds. Like
Mhm.
even in college, like I had folks that were like the international fraternity in college. So it was just like there was the white fraternity, there was the black fraternity, there was this, there was that. No one could really place us. because we were just like Koreans, African Americans, Italians, Jewish guys, this, that, the other. And like any given day, we would just be celebrating some culture. And like my fraternity in college actually came from an African American fraternity. So one of the things that they want us to do is step, which I was never really comfortable with because I always felt like, um, in a way, it was something I felt like I need to ask permission to someone that was from your culture to say, is this cool? Like I know like our heritage is this as a fraternity, but I'm Italian. Like I know where my like I know who I am. And like so the Hispanic group stepped and the African American group stepped, and we were very chill with them. I would drink beer in Brown University with um super really chill guys, and like the football team and like African American fraternities, we just are all chill. But I went to the AFIA, watched the dance thing. I never danced, but I was like supporting them because I was like, hey,
Mm.
our fraternity came from here, and I want to be here to be supportive, but I'm not gonna like they're a whole nother level. They're throwing bricks at each other. They have canes. They're doing crazy stuff. And I was like, this is so
Mm.
impressive. They turned off the lights and the bricks are glowing in the dark, and they're doing
Oh,
that.
wow.
And it was really, really awesome. I went to school up in Rhode Island.
That
So
sounds violent. That
it
sounds
it,
really fucking violent.
it was pretty cool. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
I it just
How?
it's the experience. Like the experience. Like the same.
Throwing bricks?
Yeah, they were throwing bricks and catching bricks, and they were doing it, and they were like had this chant going, and they had the step going, and like they turned down the AC really really low, so it was cold in there. Um,
Mm.
it was like immersive, um, and I was really impressed by it. It's like going on a roller coaster. It's like you do it, you get the thrill of it, and you sort of say, "Wow, that was really awesome." I did a loop de loop upside down, in a
Wait, and who
way.
is these people that was doing throwing the bricks and throwing the
Alpha by alpha.
to each other?
Yeah. 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 And
Uh,
they were dressed in black and they were saying black and gold. They had a little chant going of
okay.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so look, I'm thinking that they was doing it like forceful, like
No,
trying
no,
to take
no,
the
no,
person
no,
out.
no, no, no. Like this was everything was part of their step program. So like they were like it was all choreographed. It wasn't
Oh,
like they're
okay.
yeah, no, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay,
It
okay.
wasn't like no, 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 not like the 1960s where they're hosing people throwing bricks and stuff. Like no, this is like they're catching bricks, like tossing it back and forth in a very
Or even
mindful.
like now when they shooting black people, so same
Uh,
shit.
yeah, I didn't want to go there, but unfortunately, that's
But
true.
yes, the fact.
Yeah, but like but it was very immersive and very interesting of experience, and I got to see the lady fraternities do their thing too, and I enjoyed it. But again, I can't really speak from a Caucasian perspective because I was so um, entwined based upon like being Italian that I was not really accepted by one or the other. I was just kind of like weird middle person where sometimes they would not accept me because they're like, well, you're not like us. And the other one would be like, well, you're not like us. So I was like, okay, I'm here in the middle. Like
Mm.
I like some people like just were like, I'm not going to chill with you. And I was like, okay, I'll just get up and go. And like some people were like, oh no, that's Ed. He's cool. He's really cool. And like they'll be like, you just let me be like hang around, not like part of the circle, but like he's, on the periphery. Um, so it's kind of interesting to be like an orphan when it comes to um race because um no one really
Well,
wants.
you're not really an orphan because you have your own people too,
Yeah.
and like you know what I'm saying. So you get in where you fit in, and why? Okay, so I guess wherever you went to college at, there wasn't a lot of Italian people there.
No, there were
Was
there
there?
were a mix of Italians because it was the Northeast. So there was
Okay.
like, but it was a melting pot. So we had international folks, we had a little bit of everything. Um, but there wasn't like a some cultures they get together and they're kind of clannish, and like Italians are just like chill. Like either we get along, we don't get along, but it's not like, hey, and I guess in 1940s, 1950s, the Godfather movies where we all lived in the same neighborhood, there was a point of that, but then everyone dispersed and went different directions. So there's a couple pockets here and there, but it's not like people run around and very rarely do I see like a Italian heritage foundation, like where it's like everyone's like rah rah rah. I think I found one organization online that really promotes it, and they're like in New York City, which is a strong Italian heritage area. Uh,
Yeah.
I know we totally switched gears because we're supposed to be doing a blog, podcast on you, and I just kind of went on a total sidetrack. Uh,
I know, it's all good.
yeah, yeah, this is the first time I've really in the whole podcast series chatted about myself. Every time it's just I listen and ask questions. So jumping back over to you, um,
So wait, so we was talking about because you was asking me about the racism. So since we did, let's stay there.
oh
And
yeah, no,
also
it's all
we talk
good.
about what happened. We talk about in Flint, right? So
Yep.
when I was in high school, so went to the mall, and my friend was just standing there. So it was this Caucasian that was just she was like standing like right there, and like she could have went around or
Mm-hmm.
said, "Excuse me," that's the key word, right? So she didn't. So I'm standing there, and I told my friend, I was like, "Yo, don't move," right? Now, mind, she don't even know what's going on because she paying attention to whatever she's doing. But Caucasian kid right here, like just I don't know. So then her husband came up out of nowhere and was like, I mean, he was like, "You niggers" or some shit like that. And I don't, and then he was like, "Yo, go get your father." See, at the time there was no cell phone, because honey, he would have came. Believe that. And whooped your ass. But and then when that happened, like we both was like just numb, and it was crazy. Like when kids, when my people, and especially as when you're young and you are faced with racism by somebody. This is why if black people don't hear like, and if you're listening, and you have children or somebody that you're guiding as a child, you have to teach them how to handle themselves in situations like that.
And how do
And
you do
also,
that? Like, how do
and
you,
I,
what do
well,
you do?
mm, so the one thing that you need to do, you have to learn how to you have to be combative, maybe or maybe not. You
Mm-hmm.
have to think like within the situation and and the surroundings, right? Now, if it's
Mm-hmm.
surroundings where you feel like you are in danger, like if there's a massive group, you have to get up out of there somewhere, and also you have to, and silence is also key too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's just you and one on one with somebody, you have to know how to shut them down, like verbally. Like, look, honey, you're insecure. You're jealous. You know I am the original. I am mother. I am the kings or the queens of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Mm-hmm.
know it because we look like nobody else on this, and you mad. You know what I'm saying? To be like, and you have to know how to taunt these people and walk off. Like that's how I would teach my my child to handle that. Like
Mm-hmm.
and walk off from them. Yeah, ain't no need to be going back and forth with like a low life. You know what I'm saying? Because you insecure within yourself. God made you that way. So I don't know. Like you deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? Because you
Mm-hmm.
taking all your frustrations out, whatever you got going on up in your mind on me because of who I am. You
Mm-hmm.
sound ridiculous. You sound like just hateful and evil.
Mm-hmm.
Like your mind is all fucked up. Go get you some therapy, bitch. That's what the fuck you need to do because
Yeah.
you it don't even make no sense. Like I never really understood like racism too. Like if once you think about it, like of course like my ancestors went through what they went through, and then we also going through what we're going through right now. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you think about the police department, there's a lot of racism in that. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I'm quick to call the police. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you are here to serve and protect. So, yeah, serve and protect. But, and I find like in my area, like when you call the police, like, of course it takes them, they say it takes like 12 minutes for the police to get here, whatever the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
But I have waited much, much longer. I mean, but it wasn't like an emergency. And then they also, they call. They don't even come to the apartment. I'll be like, yo, you motherfucker. But, yeah, it's wild, with Caucasians. Well, I felt my thing now, mind you, and it's when I say Caucasians, it goes from everybody, from Hispanics, I
Mm-hmm.
fuck Indians, motherfucking, I put like all I place all y'all in the Caucasian area because a lot, no, and that doesn't mean that you're also racist because all y'all have the same aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all all kind of look alike. You be like, yeah, like y'all, yeah, you belong over there, regardless of like if you're there, if you're you're Hispanic, you're Indian, you're
Hmm.
Italian, whatever. Like y'all all still have the same aesthetic, separate from like somebody of from Africa, right? So
That's kind of
I
interesting
find like
because I always kind of looked at like there's like three different sections of like you have African features. You have
okay,
Mediterranean features, which are like tan skin, kind of greasy, oily hair, uh, certain type of a look to them, like Middle Eastern, Greek, Italian, even a little bit of Spain. And then you have like Northern European, like Germany.
they still got
They
that
are
same
they're
attitude.
very, very light skinned. There's a kind of like orange hairstyle, lighter eyes. Um, I always looked at there's like three different sections of, and you could we could debate this like night and day,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's just there's definite because like when I go and I see someone from Scandinavia and like Ireland, like it's or even Germany, there's a different vibe and look to them, and they're saying, hey, you're not like me. And the same way like when I go to like talk to some of my friends from Africa, like I have friends from different areas, they're like, hey,
Mm.
you're not like me either. And it's like, okay, I'm this kind of weird brown bag type of thing where I'm not like super light but not super dark. It's kind of strange because I when I was a kid growing up, I was in Louisiana, and someone told my parents like, oh, you have very very beautiful Puerto Rican children
Mm.
because we were like super tan skin, and but we were Italian because people couldn't figure out like, hey, that is not a white child. That like and that's like
Yeah, to me it ain't no three. It's just one and two. Like
that's
there's
all good.
African
It's
and
all
then
good.
I'm just that's just my perception. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah,
why we all think for ourselves. So
yeah.
and everybody else y'all all have like the same aesthetic. And then and I'm not saying everybody because there are allies and I appreciate the allies.
Hmm.
You know, and also like people who just have like common courtesy for your fellow human being, like
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
respectful person. You know what I'm saying? Like who live their life
Absolutely.
with hate and who live their life with hate in their heart? Like that's just
I mean,
you
there's
a
evil
different
in the world. You're
level. It's
100% correct.
deplorable. So you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I mean,
you
you have good people, then you have evil people, and that's really what it boils down to is like
yeah.
I think deep in the heart when you have a conversation with someone, you say, "Hey, you're a good person. Deep
Mm.
down, do you have a good spirit or you have an evil spirit?" And there's like it's pretty black and white at that point. And I don't mean to use that in the way of race, but
No,
just
no, no. It's
like
all good. I understand what you're saying.
yeah, and like that's how I kind of look at it. Like if you have a good heart and you're not trying to be manipulative or like be mean or evil and do wrong to people, like you're just a good person. Like, and
All right.
I think there's more good people, but they're a silent majority where they're just kind of like, we're not really going to speak up because we don't know what to say half the time. Because it's like, you know,
But that's
there's,
just like in a death, like you don't know what to say. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like when someone like you don't know, like I don't know what to, you know
yeah,
what
it's
I'm saying?
like,
Like it's an
I like
awkward
you.
situation.
We're chill. We're cool. Like, but
Right.
I don't know what to say. So I'm not going to say anything. And I think there's a silent majority like that, where it's like,
Mm.
where there's just like, we're just good people. We have good intentions. We have good spirits. And then you have a minority that are like kind of evil, and the minority of the evil people kind of the ones that really get the bullhorn, and they're the ones shouting this crazy. And then it's sort of like, okay, now they're gonna say like, oh well, we're gonna populate, or we're gonna group all this population over here, this population over there of the good people. And then obviously now it's divided, but reality is like, hey, you can come to my house for Thanksgiving dinner. We can sit down, break bread. We're chill.
Mm.
I don't care. You can come
Mm.
over, grill out, and have hot dogs and hamburgers in my backyard. It's all good.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
I think that's a majority, but a lot of people are quiet about it because, like, hey, I don't know how to even begin to sort of like fix things and just let time go by. But you have these evil
Or,
people out
or
there.
or is it because like you may feel like you're alienating yourself amongst the people who may be, I guess, like in a powerful position, or
Hmm.
I don't know what. I'm just trying to think of something. Or you just or want to feel like you know you want to feel like yeah, like these my people, like you know
Hmm.
you are my people, but I don't want to alienate myself with my thought process of, I feel like this is wrong. Maybe
Hmm.
that could be it. I don't know. But anyway,
No,
but
no,
as
this is a
far
great
as that, like,
conversation. Yeah.
yeah, because when black people like deal with it, like it's wild. But and also how do you teach your children? You also like with my son, like because I have a son who just turned 20 and dealing with the police. Like I just like I was like, you have to remain calm,
Hmm.
which is now I remember somebody on social media was like, and it was a Caucasian, was like, why don't they just it was a black man getting pulled over. I mean, because you get tired. I mean, you don't know because you don't
Hmm.
experience it. You know what I'm saying? We get it not only like blatantly, but
Hmm.
also economically. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like all types of ways that to where like we're getting hit at
Oh no,
by
yeah. I mean,
police
I have that camouflage where I don't really fall with one or the other. So I understand like I don't have the one side or the other. So I appreciate what you're saying in a big
officers.
way
Oh,
because
well,
like
thank you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that could, I mean, yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, so it's harsh, and you have to tell him like, you have to. So anyway, so back to the story. So the guy, so it was on social media. And she was like, "Yo, why don't they just listen?" Because like, and to be honest, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really like just like kind of go with it, but then
Hmm.
again, you do have police officers who abuse their authority, who also may, I don't know what the situation was, but yeah, but if you was to be relaxed within your
Hmm.
demeanor, and ask a regular question like, yo, what are you stopping me for? Or okay, I'm grabbing my, without all the unnecessary, like, I don't know, I don't feel, maybe both of them could have bad days. Who knows? But the fact remains is that we are like being pushed and pulled with racism as a black person
Hmm.
all the time. And then, that happened. I can see where like a person would like go off in a sense. But yet to protect yourself because these people have guns and they can kill you and it will be justified. Like it
Hmm.
has
Hmm.
always have been. So um in your stance as a black person, you need to be calm. You got to be cool in this situation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, uh, be compliant. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? But you can ask your questions because you have the right to ask your questions.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And know the law
Hmm.
is important as well.
Yeah, I
And
think the
so
big point is knowing the
please.
law. If you know the
Oh yeah,
law,
without a doubt.
like
A lot
you're
of
in
police
a
officers don't. A lot of police, y'all be like,
well,
whoa.
I mean,
A
like
lot of them don't.
I have a friend that's an attorney and he edits the test manuals for law enforcement. And
Mm,
I have to say he's probably the most well versed in like what police officers should know or shouldn't know. Um
okay.
and like I keep on hearing like all these different things. And what goes in the back of my mind is if you're stimulated, you have your adrenaline pumping and you're not really in a clear mind space, a headspace on either side of the table. Like if you're uh, driving and trying to catch up to someone and speeding at like 90 miles an hour, like
Ridiculous.
there's that. And then on the flip side,
Mm.
if your adrenaline's pumping because you're nervous and you're excited, you're not in a good headspace either. Like I think it would make sense just from an outsider's perspective looking in. There should be a cool off period where like there's no reason to rush something. You could de-escalate and just basically say, let's both take a couple minutes just to chill. My
Right.
adrenaline's going crazy. I just came back from this 90-mile highway speed chase, and now I'm talking to you. You're coming out of the store. You're nervous. You're frazzled. We both calm down. I don't think everything has to be solved like in a snap of a finger instantly. But I think we lose sight of that as a society that we have again just like a large population of good people trying to do good things as citizens and as police officers, and then we have some evil people on both sides of the
Yeah,
coin
yeah.
where
That's true.
they're not doing good things. They're like robbing the banks, they're robbing the liquor stores. You have the cops that are not really going to be
Well, they
police
all
officers for a
all
long
this,
time.
but all this shit is a scam. Like the business shit, all this shit is a scam. Like for real, for real, for real.
How do you
Like,
see it as a
but
scam?
But when you do it, it's a problem. Just like when you, okay, say like for business, right?
Okay,
And
yeah, yeah.
especially, and it's always because Caucasians is the one who set this all bullshit up, right? And made money valuable, which don't even really mean nothing if you really fucking think about it, like for.
Oh yeah,
But
since the
anyway,
70s, you're right. It's not gold standard anymore.
so
You're 100% on
so
point.
so the way that they set the shit up, so they have access to all this capital and whatnot because of the free labor that they have gotten, right? So, which also put us like, well, my people down like at the bottom. Not to say that there's plenty of people who have came up, but
Hmm, hmm.
and then when we come up, they come and they burn our shit down. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of times where that happened.
Hmm.
So, so say like with business, right? So just like even the Caucasian women was having a problem because they had the funding for black businesses and they felt like it wasn't fair. What the fuck is you talking about? When it's like when 2 or 3% of funding goes to black women, like what the fuck is you talking about? How is that an issue for you? Why? Because you're not getting it, and it's only 2 or 3%. Like,
I'm
girl,
struggling to
that's
follow. Are you talking about African American women getting funding, or like
right.
that have like uh capital companies that are funding them? Is that what you're saying? I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, right, right, right,
Okay,
exactly
good.
that. And then you had a group of these Caucasians saying that that was like
Hmm.
unfair and it shouldn't be happening. So that's just one thing. And also like you think about businesses. When I say like things is a scam, so that feel like she's definitely scamming the system with that shit, trying to stop that. When it comes to business, you think about like Caucasian business, how they like. So say if it's I don't know, a pool business. So there's
Hmm. Hmm.
somebody that put the pools in, and then something breaks in your pool, and then it's their cousin who has to come and fix it, and then like the person that painted, like it's all like it's levels to it, but it's also benefiting
Hmm.
like the Caucasians, you know what I'm saying, who's always reaping the benefits financially. And also you think about the educational system, like it's all bullshit too. Like how the fuck people gotta go to college and then half of the time when motherfuckers go to college when they get out, they're not even doing what they whatever field that they study, they're not even doing it. So many people. Like and then they in debt ridiculously. So how can they possibly come up? You
Hmm.
understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like there's absolutely like no way. I mean, well, yeah, it is a way. Once you understand the system of things and how money works, then yeah, you know how to play the game because it is truly a game. But of course, they don't teach in black people, but we are learning now or have been well for the masses who really want to
Hmm.
get into it and want to grow their financial wealth.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it's crazy. So it's all like a scam. But when you do it, like it's a problem. Just like with the PPP loans, right? Now that shit was crazy because I'm a business owner myself, right? All you
Okay.
had to answer 4 questions. I don't know if you, but I did participate. 4 questions, right?
Yep, yep.
And
I remember.
with no documentation. I was just like, wow, okay, this is wow. So I did it. But
Hmm.
the reason, but mine's was for I wasn't doing it wrong. It was for a nonprofit. And so
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
lady, so we all actually got on the phone for some strange reason because they never sent me the check. I was like, what's going on? I was awarded the monies, whatever. And so she said, well, is this for nonprofits or whatever? I must have clicked it wrong. I was like, no. She said, well, luckily you didn't get the check, or or if you would have got it, you should have sent it back because the one that I had clicked on was for a nonprofit, but mine was for profit. So now they going
Hmm.
to all these people who was like, saw it, was like, oh, hey, because that word was getting spreaded. You answer these 4 questions, but now everybody going to prison. And prison too, that's big business too.
Yeah, because they're not paying it back. And like there's all different types of things I see in the newspaper regularly of people that are like uh they were not using the funds as it was directed to expressly supposed to be used. And that's why they're going to prison. It's like you can't buy a yacht and like a third home or second home and like but it was supposed to be going for employees. So if you have like 25, 50 employees, that money
Mm.
was supposed to flow through the employees. I remember Ruth Chris Steakhouse actually gave the money back because they were like, we can't take this money because it's we just no, we're going to give it back to you. Um,
Right, right.
because they were furloughing everyone, and I don't really understand why all the surrounding things by that.
Yeah,
Uh,
but then also you have to think like this too. For someone who don't have access to capital like that, right? And you see an
Hmm.
opportunity. Now, this
Yeah.
is supposed to be the land of opportunity and the free and all that other shit. And then, so you see that like, and it's just these four questions. You know that shit gonna get to spawn
Hmm.
throughout
Hmm.
the, you know what I'm saying, throughout the this internet world, and then people is gonna like take advantage. So and then boom, there it is. And that's the same thing. Then it's kind of, it seemed like it's also was a setup in a way. But yeah, I know it is beneficial for people who have businesses and had employees. That was
Yeah.
what it was
Yeah.
initially
I mean,
for.
it was
I get that
unprecedented.
part.
Like no one ever expected like we're going to lock down the whole entire world for months. And like it was something that probably will hopefully never happen again, knock on wood.
Right, right.
But it's, you we could armchair quarterback this forever. And I said during the time this was all going on, there's gonna be so many case studies and so many reviews of how things turned out based upon like people that got the monies or that were homeschooled or that were like virtual learning and like versus not. And like it's to me it's going to be very very exciting to see what those studies and reviews bring forward to read about and learn about and really kind of because it's such a anomaly in a short period of time that this happened in to see what they come back with and how it affected people and what the end results were from people. But like, did the learning go down? Did learning go up? Did like business actually improve or did they stay level? Did they go out of business? Um,
A lot of people went out of business. A
oh
lot of
yeah.
people
Oh
went out
no,
of business.
yeah, 100%. But I mean, the folks after they received the funding, did they stay in business or did they close shop after the funding ran out? There's a lot of like a lot of interesting points today. I'm kind of looking forward to, but I mean, that's going to be like 10-year, 20-year study. That's not going to be like we're like what 2 or 3 years after the fact. We're still like kind of in the infancy stage. So they're probably still collecting research, but I'm kind of curious to see what they find out about coming in the future. And hopefully when they release all these studies, I'll still be alive and you'll be alive so we can actually read it. Um, but my question to you, you went back earlier and you had mentioned the um, perspective of like folks that like have a long track record in the United States from like the 1800s and whatnot. What are
Mm,
your perspective on like people that are immigrants? Because my family came over during World War II, like in the 1940s, like a good 100 years after the 1800s and 200 years after the 1700s. Um, where do you identify folks that are like immigrants, even up to today? I mean, we have folks that are coming
mm.
over to different states because of like wars and issues that are happening. Do you bulk them also in like in that same place, or do you say, you know what, that's a whole separate population because they were never here. Like
Mm.
they were never involved and anything that happened in the first 200 years, 250 years, I don't know how long, of the nation's history. Where coming from your standpoint, where do you put immigrants at?
You speak of the immigrants that's coming here now or
Yeah, since like
in the
World War
past? Now.
II, like World War
Okay.
II. Yeah, like
Um, well, actually, America got a lot of nerves. Like, motherfucker, you Caucasians, you goddamn immigrant. You don't even belong here. What are you talking about? Like, what is this conversation? Like,
I'm
it's
asking the question
knowledge.
to get the
Yeah,
answer.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about
Okay.
like just the powers that be, and
Mm-hmm,
also how
mm-hmm.
they implement the language, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Motherfucker, you are immigrant. What are you talking? Not you. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, who? You're not native to this land, so how could you
Mm-hmm,
possibly
mm-hmm.
say some shit like that? But you know, the audacity and the boldness of these people is ridiculous. Like I just feel like you are absurd. You're fucking crazy, and you're out of your mind because you can't possibly think with the shit that you're saying, but clearly you are. But then you put this shit in other people's minds and you mind manipulate. So they're good at mind manipulating. So, but anyway, you're not even motherfucker, not you. But I'm just saying, um, uh, originator of the original person of
Like the
this
founding
land
fathers.
here.
We'll say the founding fathers. Yeah. Is
You're
that fair?
not. You're right. You're not. You know what I'm saying? So stop with the fuck shit. As far as people who came over here, I do believe like when they came here, because they still implementing this today.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
was some refugees that came from Africa.
Hmm.
And when they went to their orientation, and I bet you they probably been doing this since the dawn of time, or even when your people came over here. Uh, don't socialize. This is what an immigrant actually said with black people because they
Hmm.
are thieves. They are, just like they were saying, like all this like horrible, deplorable things
Hmm.
about my
Hmm.
people. And what although we are related to you, but yet you got these Caucasians telling these African people this how they should think about African Americans. Like the shit is crazy. So I'm sure that if they were implementing this in 2024,
So
they've
they're doing
been
that
doing it.
now.
Something.
They're.
Yes, I spoke to someone who is a fucking refugee was rescued from there because they was going through a civil war, and they
Mhm,
actually
mhm.
told them that.
That's crazy.
So as far as now, and I'm sure that that's been going on ever since, because there was still the racism. What now? I can't even speak for like who knows what like, but I feel like racism towards me as
Hmm.
my people with other people.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's collective, us against them type of shit. When I say them, because I put everybody, all you all in the same, but because y'all got the same
Hmm.
aesthetic, it's looking aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like all y'all over there. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like, and I don't believe that everybody had that racist mindset,
Hmm.
but um, a lot of them did implement that because they probably was taught just like in 2024. I'm telling these refugees just told me that this is what they experienced during their orientation of coming here. Now, if we talking about immigrants coming here now, I don't believe all of them. I think that there should be a serious. Oh, really? I know I couldn't be in power because, like, I don't really. I'll be like, I don't know what to. um, there should be a serious like orientation and intake of people
Hmm.
that they allow in. And I feel and I know that some people they come here and they really have good intentions. They really want to come here and do great things for themselves and their families. But
Gotcha.
then you also have the ones who may have because now everybody have low life mindset of people who live in their life in their culture about a part of their culture
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
come here and who is disruptive there and then they come here and they are disruptive.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
those people, that's why the orientation and the intake needs to be like it needs to be like really, really valid. Like and you need to sort people out. Like, I'm sorry, like we just can't, you know what I'm saying? But I know that doing that's not something that can. I don't even know if that's possible to be done because you didn't even think about what is those people called? I don't even know the people that's supposed to take that care for the children. So I have like somebody who live in the building. These
Hmm.
people we have drug addicts, unfortunately, that live on our floor who's causing havoc. They're the only ones. They have 3 children, and what is it? CPS, whatever they call it, Child Protective Service, right?
There you go. Yep. Yep. I heard of them.
Came to their apartment, and I'm sure it was nasty in there.
Hmm.
Why they was having when I walked to the elevator, the person was having the conversation outside of the apartment. Shouldn't you be inside? So everybody don't really be doing their job. Some people is doing the job just because they doing the job, just because they need to take care of their family, and it's not
Hmm.
a passion of theirs. So they probably like, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I'm getting a
okay.
paycheck. I'm
I'm a
being told to say
barely
this. I'm going to say it.
I'm
Yeah.
barely doing this,
Yeah.
so you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it don't even really matter to me, like really, So
Hmm.
it's really hard. But as far as the immigrants coming in now, I really think that they should really do a serious orientation and intake on the people because and then also you never know like how these people grew up. I'm just saying, I kind of don't want you living next door to me. I live in New York where we all live in apartments. Where I live in apartment. I don't
Hmm.
want you living above, below, like especially like no, unless there was a serious intake. Because if you come from the slums,
Hmm.
like your mentality is different. I mean, you probably don't even know how to adjust to, and then like you have to also teach them like the etiquette. And then so I did have some people who is foreign here, and I'm trying to explain to them like how things is done, like wherever you from, like you can't be in the hallway talking on the volume on 100.
Hmm.
Sweetheart, you have to be considerate because we are all neighbors. We basically we all live together, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
just
You're one. You're like
in
a
separate
microcosm
units.
of a community. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
So we have to be considerate of the people that we are near. You know
Hmm.
what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I'm trying to explain that to you. You don't tell me how to. Okay, when it gets to that point to where we can't have a conversation, then I just back off. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
all right. So then I'll let management because now I'm definitely about to inject management into this. So they'll deal with you. So
Hmm.
because you
Hmm.
can't have a decent conversation because you think, and then also they feel like um that you are in my mind that you are better than them. You know what I'm saying? But that's not where I'm coming from. I'm
Hmm.
trying to put you on to how things is done around here, like to help you so we can all help each other because we all live together. This is a community. Now, because of where you came from, maybe that's how y'all, but you can't, no, we don't do that here, though.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
can be outside talking really loud, like on the streets of New York. Okay, yeah, but also you still, even you still shouldn't really do that because there's other people around. Like, come
Yeah, yeah.
on, we
They're gonna probably call the police
people
thinking
aren't
you're mental.
conscious.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But yeah, the migrant crisis that there should really be a severe intake on the people that they allow inside. But then also you think about you flip that coin. We gonna flip
Hmm.
the coin.
Hmm.
Mhm. Because now those people that they let in, they have the aesthetic of looking like a Caucasian, right?
Hmm.
You flip it when the Haitians come over here. Oh, they shipping them the fuck right back. Oh, y'all gotta go. Ain't no you coming in here. Y'all gotta go. You know what I mean? You saw the one where they had the one that was what that 2023 or whatever or one where they was on a horse and they had a whip. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
this actually fucking happened of the migrants, the immigrants that was coming from Haiti. So
Hmm.
they'll turn them around. And also like some Africans, unless they are in like a really dying situation where, the UN has to get involved and then like I told like they rescued my friend who was going through like a civil war where they were
Hmm.
and but they was taught that about African Americans. So
Yeah.
it's crazy as hell. The powers that be is it's weird and it needs to be. So we need to start with the government due to the fact that this is a melting pot.
Hmm.
I think that in all Senates, it should be somebody represent. How many senators is it? Like, senators or whatever, however many it is, it should be somebody from each country that in America, because America is a melting pot. It shouldn't
It
be
really
all
is. Yeah.
Caucasian men and
And
women.
I know, like, a lot of times we do have a nice blend in the Congress of different people. And you're right, there was a point in time where it was just one stereotype of a look. But I know now when you look around the room, you look around the table, there is a more of a blend that's coming. It's an evolution. I'm not going to say we're
Right.
100%
Yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
at
Right,
all.
right,
Like,
right.
but
Of course
I mean,
not.
compared to like the 80s, like we
Mm.
are.
Woo, the 80s.
Yeah, we're like a
Wow.
whole. Well, we're like if someone from the '80s that was in Congress walked into Congress in 2024, their head would explode. Just because it's changed so much. Outside of like the one or two that have been in Congress since 1980, oh, that would just that literally died in office, or one of those folks.
Crazy. And then let me also say this real quick, like interject since we on
Mhm.
on this top. We have not talked about anything like but
I'm
anyway,
gonna
but
have
this
to have
is
you back on
good.
my show to actually
Yes,
talk
yes, this
about.
is good. Yes, yes, yes. So look, like I am also I am like I said, the two things I knew that I know God blessed me with, and that is fashion and dance, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I've always written that on my thing. So went to college, whatever, and when I got out,
Hmm.
I could not find a job. Like they would not. Now, mind you, I'm of course fashion from head to toe, from head to toe. Like when you see me, like, oh yeah, that girl right there. No, you know what
I
I'm
can tell by
saying?
your
Oh
shirt.
yeah,
Like that's a very fashionable
that's
shirt
what
to
I'm.
wear. Like I'm wearing a polo shirt. I am not
And you know what?
like
I meant to say that. We both have on blue. Look at that.
yeah.
But and this is one from my collection name. My brand is real nice by real. But listen, so back to the fashion industry, which is very racist.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, I look the way I look, and the one thing that you could definitely, especially like a black woman, now as black people, we come in so many different shades. You have the super lights to the to the ultra dark chocolates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I fall like in the middle. But the one thing that you can definitely tell is about my hair, and I definitely wear my hair in styles that represent my culture.
Yeah, I like
So
your
and
hair,
I
by the way.
and
I like the look
thank
of it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
I would always when I would go to the interviews, I would, definitely have my suit on. I'm dressed appropriately because I know fashion. And
Mm-hmm.
and of course I'm adoring myself with the way that I wear my hair because it's culturally who I am. So I think when I could not find a job for 2 years, I'm beating the pavement, beating it, beating it. I'm out there every day. Nada.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing that I could find was an internship. So when this lady told me an internship, so I looked at her, I was like, I, I said that is very disrespectful. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As a graduate, and you gonna tell me, you offer me an internship? I said, no, I politely. I'm sure I'd say politely, but I did. So I was like, I declined. No, because that's an insult. You're insulting me right now. So, but anyway,
Interesting.
I couldn't find nothing. So, but the fashion industry is truly racism, especially if towards black women. I would see my other black uh damn, why my brain be going blank? I got a lot of shit on my mind right
No,
now.
no, no.
Why my
You're
brain?
100% right because Tommy Hilfiger has a HH, and that's actually stands for Heil Hitler. So, like, I mean, that's
Wow, I didn't even know that.
yeah, it's super crazy that a lot people actually wear Tommy Hilfiger. And I hope I don't get sued by him for saying that, but it's a known fact. And the 88, that whole thing, um it's pretty wild. So like I 100% believe you in what you're saying that there is like
Oh yeah, for sure.
guts there.
I'm
Like
a witness of it. And also in their design sometimes, just like what was that? The one with the had the little boy, he had monkey on top of it. Like, of course the parents, like see parents, look, you can't be you if you want your child to be a model or in the industry in the entertainment industry why am I industry.
industry. There we
Right.
go.
Right. You want them in that, but you have to have some integrity about yourself. There's some you have to say no. Money don't like you can't let that move you like that. Like you got and then other people we looking at that like, wait a minute, like I really had a problem with that. Like, oh
Hmm.
no,
Hmm.
what you mean? You
Yeah.
said when in fact they was calling us 3/5 of a man. Like what? And monkeys and shit. Like, are you out your mind? You know what I'm saying? Like it's insane. And then they also, and then you think about the pervertedness of it too. It was Balenciaga. I don't believe people wear that shit. They had the one with a doll with a nose that looked like a dick that I'm sure somebody was fucking, and it was and
Hmm.
the face was like of a child. It was a doll, and it
Hmm.
had a nose of a dick. Like what the fuck? Like what is pedophilia? Yeah, and
Probably. I don't
y'all just
know.
going
That
with it?
it's I've never seen that cartoon, but I
Oh
believe
yeah, no,
there's
no, it's
there's
not a
there's some
cartoon. This isn't a cartoon,
oh, it's
sweetheart. This is
not.
something that you can.
Okay.
No,
No, that's
no, this
interesting.
is
I
no.
huh.
Look up Balenciaga. You will see all the pedophilia that's going on with them. It is
Okay.
crazy.
I'm not really
Like
into the fashion industry. I'm not. I'm
okay, well, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
like,
yeah.
but I'll look it up because that's really interesting. I know there was a mask at one time I saw where it had a really long nose, but it covered your face like this. In
Oh
what
no, no, no.
movie? I don't know if that's one of the same what you're talking about or
No,
not.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, but this has been very interesting.
Yes, we didn't even cover the topic we came on for. But like I'm definitely gonna have you come back on.
Yes, please.
I'm
I
gonna
appreciate
I'm
it.
gonna give you like a the time to actually talk about what we want to talk about today. Um, but this was fantastic, and this has been an
Yes, I
awesome
appreciate it.
interview. Thank you so much for being so open and honest and
Of
kind
course.
with
Thank
the
you.
the how this conversation has flown. So um I hope you have a blessed day, and I look forward to having you come back on for part two.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, you do the same.
This episode was made and produced by i4 Web Services. Visit i4webservices.com to learn more.